Thank you very much for that very warm. Please sit down. Thank you very much, Pastor, for the very warm introduction. I plan to go into politics sometime soon as well. Yeah, certainly, because I'm tired of sitting on the fence or sometimes just sitting in the background and complaining about things. So I've decided, okay, but not this Saturday. Next time, I want to go into politics. Because I think, what do they know that I don't know? They have one head, I have one head. They have school set, I have school set. Yeah, my certificate can be found. But fortunately, my certificate is with me. So I think that we should stop sitting in the church and us being members of the church. We should go out there into the society, infiltrate the society, and make the impact of the Word of God known. Because if you're a Christian and you're in the church, you're really not doing anything. It's outside. When people see you and the things you do, that's when they know this is a Christian. So that's what our mission is, call to service. All right? I was here last time. How many people remember my face? Okay. So I thoroughly enjoyed myself, but it was also an opportunity for me to remind myself. Because you know how it is. It's not everything that you tell people that you've done yourself. But when you tell people, you're also accountable. So you have to go back and look at yourself. All these ones I was telling them, which of them am I doing and which one am I not doing? So I also had to do that research and search, inward search myself. And Pastor, thank you for saying you don't take me for granted. I also don't take this opportunity for granted. I mean, anything that has to do with the Christian world, I certainly, okay, let me not certainly. I know that I am not going to be a pastor. That's what I think. So whenever I am called to do anything in the church, as long as it's something I can do, I do it gladly. Because I think that's my own contribution to that work. I'm almost certain I won't be a pastor. Because I don't have their patience. And, you can call a pastor at any time of the day. Like 12 midnight, 2 a.m. Something happens, you call the pastor's wife. I love to sleep. Okay. So last time I was here, what did we talk about? Who remembers? Okay, I remember some faces. So I'm going to, remember I'm a teacher as well. Okay, so I'm going to use that teacher thing is going to just jump out at you now. What did I talk about the last time I was here? Who is bold enough to say it very loudly? I didn't hear you. Making wise investment decisions, all right? So, from all of that, who has started something after that meeting we had? Who has improved on something after that meeting we had? Actually, I'd like some answers. It's not a rhetorical question. Okay, some people have shut down the TV. Fantastic. That's one. Clap for yourself. If you have shut down the TV, clap for yourself. Okay? Because TV is a real huge time waster. You have to be very careful before it takes you away from the destiny God kept for you to something else. All right? Who else? How about accountability partnerships? How many people have done that? Wow. Great. Okay, I remember you said you'd do it. This guy keeps to his word. I like that. Okay, so how many more people? It's a way of helping yourself. If you're mentoring, then you should be thinking about holding yourself accountable. All right? So today we are going to be talking about, where is my cue? Okay. startups, and financing. What is a startup? You remember I said I'm not a pastor. So I'm the teacher in me is still on. So I like, if I ask a question, I'd like some answers. Yes. Yes, a completely new business venture that did not exist before. So someone sees something, comes into this place, sees that there's a need here, and then begins to do something about it. So the person sets up a business. That's a startup. Okay? When you start a business, there's so many things you require, and one of them is funding. But funding is not the main thing. The main thing is to even have the idea first. When you have the idea, somehow, if it is going to work, you will always have a way of going around it. Okay? Next slide. Oh, sorry. Okay. This is quite trendy. It's different from some of the ones I've seen. Okay. So basically, the startups and MSMEs are the ones that run any economy. Pastor was saying you need to have businesses to be able to employ people so that we don't have people who are ready tools in the hands of politicians and all kinds of people. If everyone is able to work, people will be tired at a certain time, maybe by 5 p.m. So you can't call them out in the night to go and do funny things. Yeah, because we're all human beings. You're going to be tired. So if you have everyone working, then chances of crime and criminalities would be greatly reduced. Okay? And then our economy becomes bigger and better. And then our standard of living moves up, improves. We are very close to being one of the top 25 economies in the world. We're actually number 26. And I was just looking at the figures, and I said to myself, what does it take to move us from 26 to 25? Very little. But it needs you and I contributing your own quota in terms of doing business. And business is not a child's play. It's not a joke. It's very serious. I remember that last month I was teaching at Enterprise Development Center of Pan-Atlantic University. And someone said to me, Madam, you were telling us to do too many things. We have to set up the budget. We have to follow up on this, check inventory. I said, look, it's either you're in or you're out. I mean, I'm not going to tell you that, no, it's okay, don't do this one. No. I'll tell you the truth. If you don't like it, then stay in the safe, comfortable place and do the safe, comfortable thing. But if you want to do business and make all the huge money and be on Forbes magazine, I mean, who would want, okay, maybe I shouldn't speak for you, but I would like to be on, yeah, why would this Akwa Ibom face be on the Forbes magazine? So, if that's your dream, then you cannot just go home, watch movie magic, and then go to bed. No. You have to be thinking about what next to do. Okay, what are we going to do next year? What you're supposed to be doing next year is now you're supposed to start thinking about it. This is the time to start planning for next year. And sadly, in Nigeria, we have a 9-month year, this 2015. Because we've lost 3 months, maybe 3.5 months, to all of these things that have been happening. Okay? So we have a lot of work to do in the 9 months left for us. So do you have time to watch TV? Okay, watch news, I said. But outside news, really nothing else. Just remember everything else you've watched before, put them to practice, and your life will be good. Okay, so we need all of us doing business, one business or the other. We will never be all on the same level. We're all different. But do your own bit so that Nigeria will be better. Remember what I said? Why are we going to... I don't argue. I don't talk about Nigeria. I don't criticize politicians. I'm not... Because I'm wasting my time. They don't even know I exist. Why are you talking about Jonathan? Doesn't know who you are? No. You're wasting your energy. Do your bit. If you don't like what he's doing, prepare yourself, get in there and do better than him. That's what I think. The Asian economies, they don't worship God, most of them. China, you don't call God. How many of them? India, they have like 1,000 gods. So which one are they worshiping? But they're doing extremely well. Because entrepreneurship is encouraged all around. They're called Asian tigers. So what are we going to be called in the next 3 years as Nigerians? I don't know. We've been here for 54 years. We don't have any name. The one I remember now is Sleeping Giant. And that's not complimentary. Okay? So, what's in your hand? What business are you thinking about? The pastor read that, Pastor Shala read that Jesus was minding his father's business, and he mentioned that this was carpentry. And I remember that just 2 days ago, my husband and I were talking about vocational skills. And carpentry is one of the worst. I mean, have you had a carpenter do anything for you? It's... Sometimes I say to myself, if I didn't go to school, I would just go to Germany, learn how to do these things properly, and come back and set up my own thing. Because in Germany, I have a friend who lives in Berlin. He used to live in Berlin. She used to be a diplomat. Her next door neighbor was a tiler. Because their vocations are looked at with respect. And so a tiler can afford to rent a house next to a diplomat. Yes. And when you enter their homes, you see the quality of work. You wonder, I mean, this is the same earth that Nigeria is on, and this same bathroom I'm sitting in is in the same earth that Nigeria is on. Enter a bathroom in Nigeria. If you are not there personally to see the job being done, there's going to be trouble. Some people, you have to redo this and rework that. We need vocational schools. How much does it take to set up a vocational school? Maybe just one skill. Maybe carpentry. Maybe tiling. Maybe plumbing. That's another one. Why don't you... I mean, those are businesses you can set up with not so much money if you have someone who's good at it. Channel the person's energy and get the person to start. That's something you can start. We're all skilled. There's no one human being that doesn't have any skill to deploy. But sometimes I think we're very lazy as human beings. And maybe as Nigerians, because I feel that God blessed us too much. And so because of that, we've become quite lazy. Our weather is good. If it's hot outside, you run into your office or your house, there's AC, or at least there's fan. If you step outside, orange is how much? 400 and 5 or something. Everything is available. That's why we're taking it for granted. In some places where these things are not available, they have to work and work and work. But because we have it all here, we take it for granted. And, okay, I'm in the church. I'm surrounded by pastors. So whatever I say, nobody can... Anyway, I am one of those praying that the oil in Nigeria dries up. Yes. I've never worked in an oil company. I've never applied. I'm not interested. Whatever that has to do with the oil. I mean, I come from the Niger Delta area. I should be interested, but I'm not. Because I think that oil has made us become very, very lazy. Some of you, if you remember your grandparents and maybe your parents, when they went to school, they had cocoa, they had palm oil, they had all of those things that they used. Where are all of those things now? I went to Calabar and Uyo. I saw rubber palm estates completely abandoned. I saw palm estates completely abandoned. I mean, I'm sure you heard about the Malaysia story, coming here to pick the seedlings, and they're dusting us. Is there anything Nigeria is really dusting the world in? I don't know. So what is in your hand? Because you can't continue to sit here and not do something that influences and touches other people. I don't know how many of you have read the book, Acres of Diamond. In one of the pages, it's a fantastic book. I think you should all read it. The guy is a Christian. He's the one who set up Temple University in the U.S. He said something that running a business properly is preaching the gospel. And I think Pastor Shala said exactly the same thing in a different way. if you run a fantastic business, people will refer to you and they will remember, they will want to know who you are, and then your faith will come out. And by that, you don't have to preach the gospel. People come to Christ because of your ways. All right? So how much do you need? You know, in my business, some people come and say they want money to do this, and I ask, okay, break it down, let's understand. And you find out that really they don't need as much money as they say. Most times it's almost 50% of what they need. What they tell you is less than, is more than, it's 50% of what they really need. How much do you need? Okay, so you've established how much you need. Where are you going to get the funding? Some people will come out. Okay, you know the business I do, so I get to meet all kinds of people. Somebody will wear solid gold and come to me to ask for 100,000. And I'm saying to myself, if you sell just the bracelet that is 120,000, you have your money. So why are you coming to me? Sometimes you need to sell your car to do your business. That means that tells me that you're serious about it, you're committed to it, that you believe in it so much that you sold your car. Sometimes you have to leave where you're living in Wuse too and go to Maraba or somewhere else so that you are able to chase your dream. And then when you come back, you buy a house in Maitama. Yes. Someone told me, the houses in Maitama are finished. They're all occupied. I said, nah, lie. If you want a house in Maitama and you have the money, the house will appear. Simple. So I'm not afraid that I don't have a house here and there. The day I want the house, I will get the one I want. Because I will go around and say, that's the one I want. And somehow it's going to be available. Because if the price is right, the occupant leaves it and... yes. You build a house for 400 million and I offer you 800 million. What are you going to be doing? All right? And then you also have friends, family, and favor. But you have to be careful with family and even with friends. Because I know some people, if they help you once, the whole of Abuja will know that they helped you. If you become anything, they will say that you are the one. Glory will not go to God again. It is that you are the one who made them. So nobody will hear word that they gave you, maybe they even gave you like 100,000. Meanwhile, you needed 500,000. Oh, those 100,000, the whole of this church will hear. The whole of Nigeria will hear that that's your business. If not for you, they would have not started. They would have died of hunger. So you have to be careful who you go to. But then you have to be a good person yourself to be worthy of such gifts. Because if I see that you're not a careful, prudent person, if you come to me, I will say no. We will quarrel for a while. You stop talking to me for a while. But after some time, I will come back to you or something will bring us back together. I'd rather have us, in secondary school, they keep malice. Let us keep malice for some months. And then we have the friendship. Now for me to give you some money, you lose the money and lose my friendship. And sometimes people have favor. They have these fantastic ideas and then all of a sudden, someone says, look, I believe in your idea. Let me fund it. I'm sure you know people that has happened to. But you know what they had? They had integrity before these people noticed who they were. So when you're not there yet, I think you should really cultivate your integrity. Don't let temptations get you to do things that you shouldn't be doing. Because you might not see the result right away. You might not pay the price today, but tomorrow it will be waiting for you. And sadly, in our country, it's a difficult thing because it's like everybody's doing something that is not supposed to be done. And it seems like it's acceptable. No, it's not. Because the Bible is the Bible. It was there 2,000 years ago. It will always be there. And I mean, as of this morning, I didn't hear any news that anything has changed. Because it won't. Nothing is going to change. So integrity is one of the things that you will use to get the money and resources you require to do your business. Do you know that people can give you technical assistance, all kinds of help, just because of who you are? And then another person comes, they're not giving those services and assistance. Why? Because of who you are. Okay? And we have to be creative. When you don't have money, you have to be very creative. You can't lose on both sides now. Okay? I like telling the story of a young man a friend of mine told me that a young man in Lagos, he had a bank account somewhere and he needed loan, but he didn't know anybody. So he just got creative, wrote his business plan and went to the bank, opened an account. After he opened the account, he just said he wanted to greet the manager. Of course, if I say I want to greet the manager, no, you say, okay, go on. So they allowed him, he greeted the manager. So the manager was curious, is there anything? He said, no, nothing. He left. Another day he came back, made some deposits. I want to greet the manager. Okay. I mean, this is the second time. So they allowed him easily. Then another time he came with his business plan this time. He came, went to the manager and said, oh, okay, I have this business plan. Please just look at it. You know, since you're a banker, you know better than me. Look at it, and if there's anything you want me to correct, I'd be happy to do so. So the manager looked at it, and a few days after, he went back, collected the business plan from the manager. After a while, he asked for a loan. With which business plan? The manager's business plan. So he asked for a loan. Okay, can that manager say no to that loan? Who wrote the business plan? So you have to be creative. Product pre-sale. So somebody says, I need you to cater for 20 people. I'm doing a party or something. So let the person give you money up front. Even this carpentry we are talking about, all kinds of services, you can pre-sell the product. You can say, look, pay me first and I'll bring it in. But remember what I said about integrity? Your integrity has to be intact. Okay? And then side business. I think that everybody should have one side business or the other. And if you're young, 2 or 3. There was a time I was doing quite a number of things. Okay, I won't tell you. But I've done quite a number of businesses. Some I'm sure you've never heard of before. And those businesses, maybe I'm the only person on earth who did them. But I've done quite a number of businesses. It's good to try some. I mean, you're a human being. You should be curious. Try many things. Okay, that's how I am. I'm a very curious person. I've tried many kinds of things. I mean, if somebody tells me now that you can hang on this ceiling, let's try it. I mean, after church, I'll just wait. Everyone will go. I'll try the hanging on the ceiling and see the feeling it gives. You know, be curious. Because you never know the business opportunity. You might go out there after I have been hanging on the ceiling, and then tomorrow in the news it's that you need to hang on the ceiling to be healthy and live to be 90. Who's going to be your instructor? Is it not me? So have 1 or 2 side businesses. There's some businesses that won't take a lot of your time. There's some businesses that you have to have people on the side to help you. But please be careful who you bring into your business. Because there's some people that their businesses have been killed by people they brought in. Okay? Selling your assets. I talked about selling your car, gold, and anything else you have, clothes, everything. You can sell most of these things and start again, start your business. And when you're done, you can buy them. You're wearing a Nigerian print today. Tomorrow you can buy something even higher than that. Okay? And then angel investors. These are people who like what you're doing and they just give you funding, maybe take a part of equity in your business, or they just put it for a period of time. After a while, they exit your business and you take everything back. Or you can do venture capitals. These are people who, they're not very nice people. Who's experienced in venture capitalists before? I heard some sound. Venture capitalists, they will take like 70% of your business and say you should take 30. Meanwhile, you're the one doing the work because they brought money. But whatever you do, always have an exit for everyone you don't want to be in your business permanently. Do it, put it in writing. You have to. I mean, I might like your face today, I might like your money today, but what if I have the money and I can buy you out? But there was no clause to say that I can buy you out of my business. Then I'm stuck with you forever. And I don't want that to happen. Because as the business becomes bigger, the profit also most likely will become bigger. And who wants to share his or her profit? You have many things you can do with the money. Okay? When someone helps you, let the person get commensurate return on investment, but thereafter, let the person exit unless you want the person in your business for other reasons than just the contributions. Okay? So you can also win a grant. I mean, there was the You Win grant that I hope it continues. It was a fantastic opportunity for many young people. And I'm sure Pastor Ayo told me that many people here got the grant. And there's still so many grants out there. Many. This morning I saw one. There's so many. Check. If you need money, why are you just sitting and going on Facebook and liking people's pictures that they post in the bathroom? Look out for grants and grants. Many, this Westerners, Americans, Europeans, all these grants, you know what I think? I don't feel that they're doing me a favor when I see those grants. I think that they're just trying to assuage their consciences, all of them, because they've ripped us up and then they take it back, and so they just want to give you a fraction of it. So please don't be too happy. Tell them you want the money and they should give you now. Most likely they'll give you if you present your case nicely. Okay? And then you can also get supplier's credit. Buy on credit, pay later. That's also a loan because you are not paying immediately. So you can go and do your business and then come back and pay. And then cooperative societies. I don't know if the church has one. Okay? So it's fantastic. You look out for each other. You watch each other's back. And then you support each other's businesses. You have a susu as well. They'll say this person will pack this month. Next month, another person. That. Yeah, Adashi also. It's a fantastic way of getting the funds to start your business. And I'm sure that some people have started their businesses with that. Okay, there's also leasing. Instead of going out to buy, you lease so that you pay in bits. Okay, of course, I've talked about integrity. And the last thing there is loans. You see, I put loans last because I don't want to think that because I run a microfinance bank, that should be the first thing. No, I don't support you starting a business with a loan. At all. Because, even if you have a fantastic business plan, it's a plan. It's on paper. You have not reached ground. This Niger land. When you land it, you will know. I've done businesses. That business plan is fantastic, but it's just a guide. By the time you hit the ground, Abuja Environmental will just appear from nowhere. Some people will appear from all over the place, one tax or one thing or the other. Before you know it, you'll be wondering, that business plan, is it me that wrote it? Maybe someone gave me. Because so many things that you did not factor into your plans would have come out. Okay? So, I don't support you taking loans to start a business. There are commercial bank loans, microfinance bank loans. I came with two of my colleagues. Please stand up, Blessed and Gladys. Okay, so what we prefer to give is, please sit down. What we prefer to give is working capital loan. You already have a business running, and you need funding, a little to do one thing or the other, 100,000, 200,000. You might see here, you guys are in Sheraton, so you might think that, microfinance bank, we don't need them. They give to small, poor people. Yeah, it's true. Those are our primary customers. But we also have people like you as our customers. Because once in a while, you need 100,000 to complete a transaction. And you can't get it. Your check hasn't cleared. You go to the ATM, no money. You need 100,000. Is that microfinance bank? And I mean, you know me now. So you call me, I need 100,000. And I say, come to the office. But if you go to your commercial bank, they say the letter has to go to Lagos. Or something. Or the manager is not around. This manager will sign, the senior manager, principal manager, AGM, before you lose the transaction. I mean, we have customers who've almost lost the contract, and we had to save them with 200,000 naira, 150,000, 350,000. Yes, it happens all the time. Someone calls me, madam. I mean, someone just stays in his, I don't know, a mechanic's place and says, madam, please, I need 60,000 now. My car is broken down and I need to have this car running because I must be at a meeting and I must use this car. You know, some meetings you have to use certain cars to go. Yes. You have to use certain cars to go to certain meetings. If you don't have the car, hire. I have Chijoke over there. Chijoke, please stand up. He has all kinds of cars for hire. So if you want a Jeep, Lexus, all kinds, call him. Rent it. Go for the meeting. Make the impression. Get the contract. Pay him more because he charges. Pay him for renting his car. And then I mean, that is life. It's only God who sees what is inside. The rest of us, we see outside. Okay. So we have, all right. So we have all these big organizations. They have CSR. They do corporate social responsibilities. They've made too much profit and they want to give back some to the community. So they have some projects. Go and find out what it is. If your business is in line with that, you'll be surprised that you're able to get something from them. Okay? Then there was a time, and it's still running, there's a program, Women X, where they do training for women businesses. And this group of companies from America, they support the funding. So that this training that costs like 750,000 is for women only. You pay only 10%, and these other companies take care of it. And it trains you on how to run your business properly, more efficiently. Okay? That's like a loan, because if you had to go to the training yourself, you would have had to pay the 750,000, wouldn't you? Okay? And it's still on. You know, Tolu Elumelu Foundation, he has something. One just closed. And very incidentally, Chijoke again is one of those shortlisted for the next round. Okay? Did you hear about the Tolu Elumelu Foundation program? Wow. Okay, I think we should be communicating. Because Tolu Elumelu wants to build 1 million entrepreneurs in Africa in 10 years. So this is the first year, and they have shortlisted the first, is it 1,000 or 10,000? I can't remember now. So please watch out. That's why this Facebook is good, but you have to know what you're using it for. Okay? Then there was I don't know if it's still, no, it ended. But I'm telling you this so that you know, and maybe you go and check them out and keep tabs on them. Oxfam, there was a program they had, a funding opportunity for people in Agric and I think ICT. And then there's the Agric scheme that Central Bank runs, so that if you go into the Agric business, you are almost completely covered. Okay? I've talked about you win already. Okay, the next one, please. Even this morning, I saw some funding agency that has something for Africans between the ages of, I think, 19 and 25 or so. These things are there. Just check. Take maybe 1 hour every week and just go around the sites and check which one has grants, funds, and trainings for entrepreneurs, and you'll be surprised. Okay? So what do potential financiers look for? If you want to start a business, there has to be some structure that you have put in place or you want to put in place. It has to be evident that you can put those structures in place. You have to have policies. And policies is not a big deal. It's just simple writing down the way things are going to be done. I have a friend, she has a furniture shop. Not shop. factory. She manufactures furniture. And in her office, everything, there's a procedure for everything. And even for the driver. The driver is written down when you come in the morning. It's written down. I'm telling you what is written, as she told me. Pick up the key. Open the car. Open the bonnet. It's written down, and he must not deviate from that. That way, tomorrow, the driver will come and maybe he didn't put water, like what I did one time. I didn't know you're supposed to put water every other day or something in the car. And, okay, so the thing got burnt. That water thing finished and all of those things. So, okay, so all of those things got burnt and I felt very bad because, of course, obviously, I'm not the one paying for the repairs. Thank God for husbands. Okay. So, you also have to have financial records. What are the things that how much have you spent? How much are you spending? Are you writing them down? Someone will say, it's only 100 naira I gave her to go and do photocopy. 100 naira times 1,000 is how much? Because you might do photocopies of 100 naira today, but in 1 year you do photocopy 1,000 times, and you've given her 100 naira every time she goes to do the photocopy. Isn't that something? Okay, cash flow. You know what they say that profit is an opinion, cash is a fact. Anywhere in the world, that's the same story. You know, I mean, I'm an accountant. You can have a fantastic balance sheet and have huge profit. But you know where I'll look at? If I don't see the cash, because you can make a profit. You can make a profit. If your balance sheet can show profit if you have a lot of debtors. I mean, it's still your asset. You have a lot of stock. It's still your asset. And then you come and have profit. And I go to the bank. And they say, madam, there's no money. Cash is king. Without cash, that profit is just an opinion. Because it is your opinion. I have made a profit, but prove it to me that you have made a profit. I have to see the cash. Okay? So, you go to someone to fund your business. That's some of the reasons people don't their business, because I'm also privileged to be involved in the UWIN project. So I facilitate and do a few other things. I'm also a mentor. And one of the things that people miss, and that is why their businesses don't succeed, don't scale through the business plan competition, is the UWIN, particularly UWIN, is because their businesses are not scalable. Someone wants to have a salon in one location. UWIN wants one that will give employment to Nigerians. You're not saying, okay, I'm going to have franchise opportunities for people all over Nigeria. I'm going to have my salon in Gariki, and it is there. How many people will you employ? You and your sister. That's not denting poverty and unemployment in Nigeria. So they just shift your own aside and look for someone that says, I want to build a factory, manufacturing these beans. Instead of me going to the market to buy, I love beans. So instead of going to market to buy beans every time to come and do all of that, it's already packaged. So I get the beans, pour it into my pot. Or I get the beans flour, do my moi moi or akara. That employs more people because you can't do all of those things by yourself. So you need to employ people. Okay? So that's one of the reasons. So please, if you're doing your business plan next time, do a business that is scalable. That if you start this year with 5 employees, next year you can employ 10 people, year after, and all of that. Okay? All right? Is your business sustainable? There's some things that are going out of fashion that people no longer use. So why would you go and do business in that sector? That's why nobody's going to take you seriously. Whatever business you do, look, the project it 5 years, 10 years. I know that in Nigeria it's difficult for us to think in terms of long term because of all the things, the scars we've had over the years. But we have to begin, because I think that Nigeria has turned a new page. And I believe, I didn't run away. I was here in Nigeria. I was in Abuja here, in my house. I voted. And I think that since we passed that Saturday, and we are going to pass the Saturday, that Nigeria will not be the same again. So we should begin to think long term. Where is my business going to be? What am I going to be doing in 5 years, 20 years? You should have a 20-year plan. Because if you are alive, you'll be 20 years older than you are today. So where will you be? What will you be? It has to be something you think about. Okay? Next one. Okay? So just pause for a moment. And, okay? I won't say very much about any of them. First of all, be careful who you marry. Because it matters. It has impact on your life, your business, and everything. Your family, everything. Even the way your children look. Yes. Everything about you is affected by who you get married to. Okay? All right? And poverty is truly a choice. You elect to be poor or you elect to be rich. You have to make that decision yourself. And starting a business is a way of indicating that you have elected not to be poor. And then it was, I think, George Washington who said that you cannot help the poor by being poor yourself. You know how it is. Sometimes you get a phone call. You're happy to answer it. If you're buoyant, you pick up any call from anybody in the village. Yes? Any of your aunties calls you can answer. Your uncle calls, your sisters, relatives, they call you, pick up the phone. Because, bottom line, auntie, please, send so amount. Should I say my account number be mommy's own? Something. But if you're struggling, if you don't have the money, someone is poor, some phone calls will make you jittery. You'll be getting upset and you'll be transferring the aggression on your staff, your colleagues, and your family out here in Abuja. Meanwhile, who is the source of your quarrel? You caused it yourself. Because if someone is poor, the person has elected to be poor. Okay? And please remember, business has no emotions. At all. The Bible says that the sun shines on no emotions. This hot Abuja sun hit all of us. Business is like that, no emotions. If you follow the principles, you get it right. Whether you're a Christian or not. The principles are there. God established them and left it open. Okay? And very importantly, be fit for the journey. Because if you have all these other things and then you're not physically strong, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you really can't do very much. If you're lying on your back in a hospital, can you run a business? You can't. So you have to be physically strong. And being physically strong doesn't require a lot of money. I think it takes a lot less money to be healthy than it takes to pay hospital bills and all of that. Those simple exercises, good diets, and fortunately for us in Nigeria, we haven't had these GMO foods infect us yet. And our foods are still very natural and very close to nature. So those are the things you should be eating. And we are told, I'm sure you all know, that you're supposed to cut down on meat, cut down on sugar, cut down on this and that. Those things are true. If you follow them religiously and then you do a lot of walking. One day I was reading in fact, not one man, I've read a couple of these people who are much older, and someone lives to 90 and he's still agile. And they asked him, what is the secret? And the man said he walks everywhere. That when he was growing up, he used to walk from Aba to Okigwe. Okay, I wouldn't recommend that now. but do something close to that. Okay? All right? So what are the things that you need? So, but before I just leave that, I recommend that you start your exercise regimen as soon as tomorrow morning. Okay. So how many people do exercise regularly? Like 3 times a week? Okay, shows. 3 times a week, 4 times a week. But the best exercise is also taking long walks. So instead of, because I'm not a gym person. I was a member of this gym for some years. I was on and off. I've been almost all the major hotels, I've been a member of their gym. Yes. Some I will just go one day and then never go back. I don't know why. But before I go, I'm making noise that, this year I must gym and gym and gym. And my husband was like, if I remember correctly, last year someone was in one gym. But if the gym doesn't work for you, like I have discovered it doesn't work for me, just take very long walks. In the evenings or very early in the morning. You don't have to run. Walking is enough. And if you want to run, something called sprint. Sprint is better. Just do sprint, stop, and then, okay. So, startup expenses. Who remembers what Jesus said in Luke 14:28? When you want to start, sit down. Sit down and count the cost. Because it will be a shame if you go halfway and then petrol finish. So all of those little expenses, take them into account. Every little thing. Write them down. Have a notebook for everything. How much is a notebook? Have a notebook for everything. In your house, what are the monies being spent? Write them down. So in the 1 month we have spent this and we never have enough. So maybe I should go and do a business so that I bring in at least 10,000 every month to cover that gap. How many people even know the gap existing in their lives in terms of funding? If you don't write it down, you might not know. Okay? And then the initial working capital, you have to have some money to place order for the first set of raw materials, for the first set of staff, for the first few months. You know how it is when you start a business, everything doesn't always come out, and you might be excited about your business and they'll come and pray for you and all of that. But that first day you open, you might sit there till night. Nobody will even notice that you exist. And so for a couple of months, you might not have business going for you. So you want to be able to have some funds to hold you, tide you over till maybe after 6 months, 3 months, when you have done a lot of marketing. Because honestly, as I said, business has emotions. You have to do the work. There's a lot of work to be done. But also the benefits are enormous. Because you can make 2,000% return on the investment you have made in any business. Even more, depending on what you have done and how hard you've worked. And working hard doesn't mean physical. Okay, I told you last time, physical work, physical strength, I'm not there. But you can use other people's energies and strength. So that you put everything together, you'll be the strategist and get everything working so that you get this resource, the reward that you aim for. And it's also important that you aim for something, because if there's no aim, then what are you doing? Why are you doing the business? Remember when I talked about making wise investment decisions, I said you have to know your why. If you don't know the why for this business, then you can do anything. Any income is fine. Anything is fine. Whereas you might just be carrying a pot of gold and not know it. Okay? All right, payment for fixed assets. When you're starting, you need maybe chairs, tables, and all of those things. You have to pay for them. Unless you can get someone who gives you on lease. I have a friend, they started business. They went around and picked up old tables and chairs and started their business. Now they're doing extremely well. They have their own world-class business and then furniture. But when they started, they used maybe third-hand stuff, because these ones that she used, they were thrown outside. She went and packed them. So don't be embarrassed to start with whatever it's left over from whoever. It will even make your story more interesting. When 5 years down the line, you say, when I started, I saw furniture outside. I went and asked the man, "Okay, you won't throw away this one?" He said, "Yes." I packed them. And then I started. And 5 years, NTA and AIT, they want to do interview with you. Okay? So I just want to give some additional tips. Negotiate hard for prices and payment. Fortunately, we can haggle. And I think that the thing has become a part of me as well. Because I remember one time I was in Switzerland, one city called Basel. And when I came out to the hotel, the front, the receptionist told me, I don't know whether it was written on my face, this woman can haggle price. The woman just told me that when I go into the shops, I should haggle prices. And I'm like, how did she know that I was planning to do that? Because even in America, I will haggle price. I don't care where I am. But in that city, I did not. I didn't want to know the consequence of it because I was warned. But anywhere else, I'll ask, so if I take 3, why don't you give me for the price of 2? So in this our Nigeria, we are allowed to haggle price. Do it. Don't do psychedelic because a babe is looking at you. You will just pay the money and go, and then you'll be regretting at home. Haggle the price there. In fact, now I know that I'm good because one day I was in Worcester Market and I went to buy something. And of course, I was haggling with the guy, and the guy said, "Kai, my sister, it'd be like saying you be my real sister." Of course, where this guy comes from. So I felt very good with myself that I have arrived. Okay, but seriously, don't take anything at face value. Try and see if you can get something lower. If you can't, shop around. Don't show that you're desperate for it. Because if you show you're desperate, then someone will want to cut your throat. Okay? Of course, you do credit search on anyone who wants to take a facility from you. Be sure that the person lives in that same location. We've had our fingers burnt. Someone will come and give you an address. By the time you go there, it's a police station. Yes. Okay. Okay, so discourage credit sales. And also, instead of credit, try and give people discounts so that they buy. Okay, and then please pay your taxes. We are citizens of the kingdom. We don't want to run foul of the laws here on earth. So please pay your taxes. Register and pay your taxes. Even if you have not fully started, register. Because you might think that I'm only trading 1 or 2 things, this and that. But tomorrow, they might call you for something big, and they need your tax clearance, and they need your certificate, they need your history, and you show them that you've done only 1 year. Meanwhile, you have been in business for 10 years. Then it won't flow. Okay? All right. So in concluding, I would just say that starting business can be challenging. It can be fun. I'm having fun. Okay? And the rewards can be enormous. And remember I told you when I saw you the last time that there are many kinds of businesses. You can start with any amount of money. I came with some friends. Please, where are my friends? So please stand up. Let the house know you. My friends who came with me. Stand up. Are my friends shy? The people who are my friends are invited to this. Please stand up. I want to say something. No, I said you should stand. Okay. So, okay, you can sit. They've seen you. Hello, where is Buki? You didn't stand up. And I was even going to say something about you. And others, I'm surprised that some of my friends are shy. Okay, I came with quite a number of people who knew that I was going to speak here, so they decided to come with me. Okay, so it's I told them about this because they all do business one way or the other. Some of them have schools, some run, some many kinds of things. And some of them started businesses with 2,000 naira, 1,200. That's why I wanted them to stand. So when we are done, you can see them, that they are flesh and blood. Because I said that time, and it sounded like this woman, this thing where she talk, jail. Jail. Because like one of them, book his stand up, let them see you well. Her business, she started with 1,200 naira. Sit down. You have seen her, B? You can go and ask her further. So there's no limit. It's just creativity. There are many businesses on earth that you can do if you're creative. And I have started, when I said it one time, one woman said, leave it now. You don't need to sing for supper. It's not about that. It's about me as a person. Because even if I don't have to sing for supper, I will have to give account to the one who gave me all the resources. It's not about the physical resources. It's about the mental resources. All of you have so much that you have not used. And what drives me is I don't want to go in front of God and he tells me, my daughter, you were supposed to be this, that, and that. And you have done only this and that. It's not, would you be happy? Would you be proud of yourself? So why don't you do everything? That's why I try so many things. Because I want to know, just so that when God says, I gave you this skill, I say, Oga, I tried, I did all of them. Even I tried singing, but that will not work. No, I tried. I had 4 lesson teachers at one point. It still didn't work. So I now have accepted that God didn't give me that one. He gave it to other people. So I appreciate quality music. Okay? All right. So, what will you start with and when? Don't answer. It's something to reflect on. I want each person in this church to have at least one side business. If you don't have one side business. Because if you have one side business, and maybe we are up to 100 now, and you take out 2 people from the unemployment market. Imagine what that does to the economy of Abuja. I remember that we are Africans, we are communal people. They will always call you from the village that something happened and they need money. And so you won't be jittery when those phone calls come. Okay? All right. So please start something with whatever you have. 1,002 has started a business. 2,000 has started a business. So how much do you have? I am sure that if I look at all of your bank accounts, you have more than 1,200 naira. So there's no excuse why anybody cannot start a business on the side. Unless the government says you shouldn't because it's your... But I have a military officer, Major General, who is we are in the same farmers cooperative. Me, I'm a farmer. He's a farmer, and he's still working. Yes, he's a general. We're farmers together. There's nothing stopping you. You're the one stopping yourself. And don't be psychedelic. I have claimed that I'm a farmer. If I control the food in Abuja, you have to respect me. Yes, so we have to respect the farmers. They control the food in Abuja because no matter all the guy you do, when the chips are down, you will want to eat. So I think that we should all think about things in that area as well. Maybe not all of us are, because some people are allergic to grass and things. I feel sorry for such people. But if you're not, think in that direction as well. Okay? So I thank you for having me. I have my contact because I know that maybe you want to get in touch with me much later. Okay, so my contacts are arranged in order of preference. So I prefer that you send me a mail. If it's absolutely necessary, you can call me. That's my official line. Most times I pick up the calls myself. But I like emails. It's easier. No, not non-intrusive. So you can send me. Sometimes you can remember something in the middle of the night. I want to say something. So, it's not clear? DNEWEKA@yahoo.com. That's my personal email. Okay? So of everything I have said, which one? I want 3 answers. If not, I'm not living here. I want 3 people to give me, at least 3 people to give me answers. Of everything I have said, I said some things last month, and I have come here and have talked again. How many people will do some of these things? If you're going to do any of them, let me see your hand up. Some, okay, I have more than 3 hands. So who wants to tell me what they want to do? So I'll hold you accountable. On this particular matter, I'll be your accountability partner. 3 people to tell us if it's not something too personal and you don't mind sharing. If it's a good business idea, maybe you shouldn't tell us so before the Spirit will lead another person to go and do it before you. Okay? So I saw like 7 or 8 hands up. Okay, you know what? Don't tell me. I trust that you will put to use and to practice and do some of these things that we have said. You will not be able to do everything I want, but start something. And that's why I gave you my contact. Whatever information you require from me, I'm just an email away from you. And then you can be my customer, because if you're doing that multi-million naira contract and you're stuck with 100,000, this is where you should come to. Because it comes easily to you, because you know me already. And fortunately for you in this church, I've done business with some of you. Pastor Ayo is a good ambassador. I have a few others, I haven't seen them, who are good ambassadors. So it shouldn't give me a problem thinking that, unless things have changed, Pastor. Okay, so it should be good doing business with you, because you never know we need small amounts of monies to just complete a transaction or complete something. So I came with my colleagues as you saw them. You can interact with them much later. Thank you for the opportunity.